Hello, 8th grade. Okay, today we'll be learning about writing multi-step equations. Remember, if you need to pause the video to write down notes, please do so. Okay. When we have 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. Okay, the first thing that we need to do is translate this into an actual equation so then we can solve it. Here we have 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. The first thing that we need to do is translate certain words. The is. When we see a number is negative 23, that is means equals. So we know that everything is going to equal out to negative 23. The next thing that we need to look for is what's going on this side. So we have 8 less than 3 times a number. So here, 8 less than. So we'll write our negative 8 because it says 8 is less than. And then here, 3 times a number. So 3 times a number. It didn't tell us what number, so therefore we represent it as the unknown, which is x. So here we have 8 less than 3 times a number is negative 23. So our 8 less than, that's going to be here. Our 3 times a number is going to be here. And then our is right there. Okay? So we'll do another one. Remember, pause the video if you need to take notes. Okay, here we have 13 is 7 more than 1/5 of a number. Okay, so it says 13 is. Remember what I told you about is? Is means equal. So 13 is. Here is our 13. Here is our is. 7 more than. Okay? 7 more than. 1/5 of a number. 1/5 of a number. And they didn't tell us what number, so therefore we write our unknown as D. Okay? So here we have 13 equals 1/5 D plus 7. That's how we would set that up. And from here, we already know how to do multi-step equations. -7 on both sides, then we take the multiplicative inverse of 1/5. Remember to pause the video to take notes. And of course, we always have to have a word problem because nothing is ever easy when we're doing these tests. They're always going to give you a word problem. All right, that was a lengthy one, yes, I know. Jason buys 3 DVDs that cost the same amount and a video game, all for $55.99. He knows that the magazine costs $1.99. How much does each DVD cost? So now we have to put this into an equation, okay? So remember, first we look for our key things, all right? So it says Jason buys 3 DVDs that cost the same amount and a video game, all for $55.99. So we know that everything is going to equal out to $55.99. So that's the first thing that we can just go ahead and take care of. Let's see what else we know. He knows that the magazine costs $1.99. How much does each DVD cost? So we already know that the magazine that Jason bought cost $1.99. So we have to add that in. Now, it says Jason buys 3 DVDs that cost the same amount. And so they want to know how much does each DVD cost. He buys 3. We don't know how much they cost. So, how do we represent the unknown? With a variable. And we'll use J. All right, so now we have 3J plus $1.99 will equal $55.99. And that's how we set that problem up. And from there, we already know we're going to subtract $1.99 from both sides and then divide by 3, okay? So if you need to pause the video to write down the question and also the equation, please do that now. All right. Connie, Clifford, and Emmanuel's lunch cost $19. Emmanuel's lunch cost $3 more. How much was Emmanuel's lunch? Okay, so here we have to take this question and put it into an equation. All right, so first let's break this up. Connie, Clifford, and Emmanuel's lunch cost $19. Okay, so all of it together we know is $19. All right, So Emmanuel's lunch costs $3 more. So we know that Emmanuel's lunch was $3 more. How much was Emmanuel's lunch? Okay, so we need to know how much was Emmanuel's lunch, but we don't know how much Connie and Clifford's lunch was. But we know that Connie and Clifford's lunch cost the same. Emmanuel's was the one that cost $3 more. So we'll say Connie's lunch plus Clifford's lunch plus the $3 more for Emmanuel's lunch should all equal out to $19, okay? So from here, when we join these two C's, because these are variables and we have to combine our like terms. So C plus C will give us 2C. And then we just bring down our plus 3 equals $19. And from here, we subtract 3 from both sides, and then we divide by 2. So please go ahead and pause it, so that way you can copy down how to get the equation. And from here, we'll be moving on to solving equations with variables on both sides, which will not be long because we should be pretty efficient on this. All right, now moving on to solving equations with variables on both sides. When we have an equation such as this, 8 plus 4D equals 5D, the first thing that we need to do is combine our like terms, okay? So when we combine our like terms, we need our one terms on one side and the other on another side, okay? So we want to bring this 4D over here. We're going to subtract because here we have an addition sign, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to take 4D from this side, and what we do from one side, we have to do to the other side. Here we have 8. This cancels out. And 5D minus 4D will give us D. And so therefore the answer will be D equals 8. Here we have 6n minus 1 equals 4n minus 5. Remember what I said, we have to combine our like terms. And we want one set of terms on one side and the other set of terms on the other. So we want all of our n's to be on one side and all of our regular numbers to be on the other side, okay? So here it'll be easier for us to subtract 4n from both sides. So when we subtract 4n on this side, we're going to subtract it on this side because what you do to one side, you do to the other. This will cancel out. This will leave us with negative 5. Please don't forget that negative. Equals negative 1, and 6n minus 4n will give us 2n. From here, we still have like terms here and here. We have to combine them. So it'll be easier for us to take this negative 1 and put it over to this side. So we're going to, since this is negative 1, and we want to do the opposite. So we add add 1 on this side, and what we do to one side, we do to the other. We bring down to n, -5 plus 1 will give us -4. From here, we divide by what is attached to the coefficient, what is attached to the variable, which is the coefficient 2. These cancel out, and we're left with n equals -4 divided by 2 will give you -2. Please don't forget about that negative. Please copy down your notes. Okay, I'm going to give you a word problem, and bear with me, it is kind of lengthy, but remember what I said. When you get on those tests, sometimes they just don't give it to you as easy. They always put it in a word problem. So I don't want you to be confused or look at the word problem like she never taught us this. So please copy this word problem down so that way you'll know how to set up the problem. Told you it was long, but it'll be okay. Finally finished. Okay. Mr. Nelson's gym charges a one-time fee of $50 plus $30 per session for a personal trainer. A new fitness center charges a yearly fee of $250 plus $10 for each session with a trainer. For how many sessions is the cost of the two plans the same? All right, so the first thing that we need to do is set the problem up into an equation. So it'll be 30s plus 50 equals 10s plus 250. And how do we know that? Mr. Nelson's gym charges a one-time fee of $50. Here's our one-time fee of $50 plus $30 per session. $30 times the number of sessions, and we're going to use S. A new fitness center charges a yearly fee of $250 plus $10 for each session. It's $10 times the number of sessions, and we're going to represent that with S. So now They want to know for how many sessions is the cost of the two plans the same. So remember what I said. You have to combine your like terms. Here, it'll be easier for us to move this 10s over here. So when we subtract 10s from both sides, we wind up with 250 minus 50 plus 20s. And here we still have like terms. It'll be easier for us to combine this 50 along with the 250. When we subtract 50 from both sides, and I'm gonna have to make room, so hopefully y'all have paused the video and copied this down. From here, all we do is divide by 20, which is attached to the variable. And when we divide by 20, S will be equal to 10. So remember to pause the video, take notes. Please take notes, 8th grade. And we have one more problem, okay? Just one more, all right? One more and I'm gonna set you free, okay? Okay, here we have 2/3 x minus 1 equals 9 minus 1 over 6x. From here, we combine our like terms, okay? It'll be easier for us to add 1 on both sides, which will then leave us with 2/3 x. These cancel out, minus 9 plus 1 will give us 10, minus 1/6x. Okay, from here, you are going to have to combine these like terms, but first, you have to have a common denominator. Why? Because now you are adding or subtracting fractions. And when you add and subtract fractions, you have to have a common denominator. So, when you are looking for a common denominator, here you have denominators of 6 and 3, okay? So, greatest common factor will be 6. 6 times, what do we have to multiply to get 6? 6 times 1 gave us 6. So, we'll use that 1 on the top for the numerator. 1 times 1 will give us 1. Here, 3 times what gave us 6? 2. 3 times 2 gave us 6, so we'll use that 2 on the numerator. 2 times 2 gives us 4. So now we have new fractions. Instead of 2/3, we now have 4 over 6x, which equals 10 minus, and we still have 1/6 over here. Now we have common denominators, and we can go ahead and combine our like terms. From here, it'll be easier for us to just add 1/6 on both sides. These cancel out. We're left with 10 equals, here, 4 plus 1 gives us 5, and we just bring down to 6x. From here, this is where we can now take the multiplicative inverse, okay? And we take the multiplicative inverse of 5 over 6, which is now 6 over 5. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. All right, so these cancel out and we're left with x. And 10 times 6 will give us 60 over 5. And when we divide that, we get 12. So here, x will be equal to 12. All right, 8th grade, Connie, Clifford, Jason, and now we have Emmanuel back. So if you need to contact me, please contact me on Edmodo. Okay, don't wait until we get to class, okay, for your questions. Contact me on Edmodo, okay? All right, bye.